this isn't important, you just throw these 6 facts out into their face. If it's not important, why? When this nation had been dispersed all over the world, why did he bring them back to a land that was desert, malarial swamps, and a cesspool? Literally, that's what Israel was. It had been so raped by the nations. Why did he reclaim that land? Why were those people willing to sacrifice their lives to drain the swamps, to irrigate the deserts, and to make it bloom again? Why did he restore their language, which was considered a dead language in the nations? Dead. Why did he restore their military might? Do you know the United States, Russia, and China, and then Israel are the leading military nations in the earth? Yes. Think of that. And why did he give them Jerusalem back as their capital? And the last thing, if Israel's not important, why has he made them center stage in every news report there is since the last 10 years? So if somebody says it's not important, you throw those 6 questions back to them and see what they say. All right? All right. You are made up of trillions upon trillions upon trillions of cells. And a cell cannot function without a membrane to hold it intact. And that membrane is called the gate of life. It is 1/1000th millionth of an inch thick, and it opens up to let waste and the cell product out, and it also closes to keep things from coming in that would be detriment to the cell. If you're hiking and you get hypothermia, that 98.6 that keeps those cells perfectly function will drop. The cell membrane will harden and you will die. If you're out playing in this Florida sun and you get what we call a heat stroke, or like my daddy said, the bear gets you, and your temperature goes above 98.6, the cell membrane wall will rupture and you will die. It is the gate of life, and you have to have it to function. God built you on the principle of a gate. And I'm going to be talking about gates tonight. I'm going to be talking about the gates that surround the city of Jerusalem today. And I'm going to apply each gate to something you need to possess or have in control in your life. I did a lesson several years ago about the mountains that surround Jerusalem. And these mountains, every one of them, show you a character of God that he provides for you in his character. But the gates represent something in you need to possess. I look at the world today and the turmoil we're in. People are in a strait, y'all. People are uncertain. They're scared. They're miserable. And I want to assure you, if you'll get the gates that I want to talk about under control, you're going to have a successful life and you're going to walk blessed with God. God blesses you. But there is a level you can walk into that you'll know that God is there every step of the way and he's revealing himself to you. So, let's get started. Yeah, put the slide of the gates up, please. I just want to say God must like gates, since we're a living mass of gates here. And most of you have had any depth of Bible teaching know that in ancient times the cities were walled and you had to get into that city through a gate. And gates in ancient times had specific functions. Number one, they were a place of defense. Number two, they were a place of commerce. And number three, they were a place of judgment. Defense, commerce, and judgment. Gates overall represents authority. That gate controlled what was coming in and going out of the city. And it represented an authority. And this is what you need to have as we look at these 7 gates. Over the course of 3,000 years, since Jerusalem was really taken over as a Jebusite city, and he began to build it, David did, the city of Jerusalem has had as many as 12 gates at one time. Today there is 8. And those are the ones I'm going to teach on. But I want to go to Matthew 5:14, that God says you are a city on a hill. God looks at you as a city. And so we're going to compare you to Jerusalem, and then we're going to walk around you, and let's see if your gates are intact. Okay? You got it? I'm going to make it just as simple as I can, and y'all excuse me, I'm going to cross my leg up here because I don't want that thing to get throbbing too much. Okay. Jerusalem is the only city in the world where God said he had put his name forever. You are a city where God said he had put his name forever. You are. You're an incorporated living thing that God says, I'll put my name there forever. When you come to know him and accept him, he says, I'll put my name there forever. He said that about Jerusalem. I want you to turn to Psalms 48, because I'm going to be all over this word tonight. Let's see where my... Yes. Psalms 48, and I'm going to start with verse 12, and it says, walk about Zion, and go round about her, and tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks, consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this God is our God forever and ever, and he will be our guide even unto death. Carlton and I take tours to Israel, and I'll never forget the first time we came over that rise, and we went up into where the old Hadassah Hospital was, and we looked down into the valley of Kidron and lifted our eyes up, and we saw the old city. For me, it was stunning, because that's been my dream all my life, to experience seeing this place that God talks so much about and loves so dearly. And I'll never forget when we finally were able to get out of the bus and get down, and we began to make our journey around the old city, and just to walk and consider the walls and the gates and to look at this place that we all know as believers was overwhelming to me. And so I want you to see God tonight, experiencing that with you. He's walking around Zion. He's walking around that city of God. And he's looking at you, and he's considering everything as he walks, okay?